Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we're going to be resetting for the month of June.
And trying to remain so strong. I know it's good if I'm alone. I got it. I gotta go, run.
So I don't know whether anyone else has felt like this, but I felt that May went by just so quickly, and I feel like I didn't even live through May. I feel like it just went by like a flash, and I didn't even have a chance to think. I don't know why that was. Does anyone else feel like that? Leave me a comment down below. Did you feel like the month of May just went by so quickly? I did a lot in the month of May. I moved flats, and I will have a moving series coming very soon. However, just things have been just all over the place, and I'm trying to get that out for you guys as soon as I can. However, yes, there's going to be lots of different content coming. I have got a trip planned to go away, so I cannot wait to share all that content with you guys as well. However, it is just a little bit, I don't know, it feels like yesterday we were in January and now we're in June. Like, how does that even work? So I'm filming this on the 2nd of June, and I'm hoping to get this out for you guys on the Friday, the whatever that is of June, the Friday, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th of June, hopefully get it up on the 6th, because I have been sucking at filming, and I've been sucking at actually trying to make this sort of dream that I've got of being a YouTuber. I have been sucking at actually trying to make it become a reality. So the first question I want to answer is, where have I been? So if any of you are my subscribers who are here and come back and watch every single video, you're probably wondering where I've been. I've been busy the whole of the month of May, and I have been sucking at motivation wise to be able to get myself to film, as well as like actually editing and getting it all sorted. So I'm really sorry that there's been no videos for about 2 months. However, I have got some really exciting content coming. So yeah, I have been filming bits and pieces. I just haven't got it edited and got it up. I'm really hoping that is going to change, because I want this to be my career, and I struggle to treat it like a career. And I think it's because I work another job alongside this, and it's really hard to have the energy to almost work 2 jobs at the same time. However, I am trying. So if any of you have got any advice when it comes to like working 2 different jobs, and like how to like prioritize one over the other and still have time to actually relax and to actually feel like you're living life as well, then please let me know, because I am really struggling right now to actually feel I don't know, useful and content in my life. And that brings me on to talk about my feelings towards the month of May. So the month of May has been difficult for multiple different reasons, some of which I don't feel comfortable sharing on the internet just yet. However, the work that I work outside of YouTube has been quite difficult for multiple different reasons, and I'm not going to get into details exactly as to why, but I have had previous struggles with this particular job, and I will leave like a video on the iCard, whichever side it appears. But I had a panic attack at work a couple of years ago, and I had another panic attack literally about a week ago because of a similar situation to the situation that I described in that video. So it was not very nice, and it was something that really has not set me back, but it has given me some food for thought in terms of what I want to do with my life and how I want to progress further, because it was very difficult to be okay after what happened. And I feel that I'm proud of myself in one instant, because I was able to recover a lot quicker from that panic attack than I did the panic attack that I described in the video that I will leave in like the card and in the description box. However, it was still not ideal. Like, you don't go to work to have panic attacks. So yeah, I just wanted to be completely honest with that and to share a bit of my experience when it comes to being neurodivergent, and then also trying to work in a world that's built for neurotypicals, and a world that I struggle to hold down any sort of job in. So therefore, that's why YouTube is a job that I do want to have. So I did set some goals for the month of May, and I did actually film a May reset. However, I didn't get a chance to post that because I didn't get it edited in time. So I am going to be putting some clips sort of throughout this video of my May reset, so that you can see like the May reset and what I did and stuff like that. But I know that some of the goals that I had set was to have more self-care days, and to like actually like focus on myself, and it was a lot of like trying to improve myself sort of goals. So I will insert a clip now as to some of the goals that I put forward. Mental health over April has been up and down, but it has been mainly positive. I only had about 1 or 2 bad days, I think, in April, which is really good for me. Usually I'd have at least like 4 or 5. So having only 1 or 2 bad days was actually really good. Physical health, I have not been the best. So I had a tooth out just over a week ago, and then because of that I got dry socket, which if anyone's had dry socket, you know exactly how painful that is. But I had dry socket, an infection and an abscess all in one. And even my dentist said to me, I am surprised by how well you're coping with this pain, because this must be so painful. He's like, I've had dry socket before and that was painful, let alone having an infection and abscess in the same thing. So I've been prescribed amoxicillin and I have been taking that, and today is the first day that I do not have a constant niggle or pain in my jaw, which is positive. However, I don't think that the infection is fully gone, because it's kind of still there, but it's definitely nowhere near as bad as what it was. In terms of my budget, I really fell out of using cash stuffing, and I spent a lot less, I think, but I also then potentially spent a bit more online. Yeah, my budget has been all over the place, and I know that April was a negative month, so I actually did overspend in April, and I'm not proud of it. Let's just say I'm not proud of it. However, I know that my income was a lot less from my job. It was actually no, it was a decent amount of income. However, I ended up with negative £216.51, which I was not happy about. I need to go into my Plum savings and set up a savings goal that is more realistic, because Plum ends up taking money and then I end up putting it back in. So I think the deposit on the payday is great, absolutely fine, but I think I've also got a weekly depositor going, and it's too high for what I can currently do, because as I said, I end up just putting money back into my account because the savings goal is too high. But yeah, I think apart from that, we're all good. And May, I'm hoping for a positive month. I'm hoping to keep my left to spend over zero and not have any negatives on it, which is definitely something that I need to work on. So, reflection of previous month, Instagram stories posted. I don't know. I will put the numbers on screen for how many I posted, because I cannot remember. But this is the amount of Instagram stories I posted. This is the amount of Instagram feed things I posted. This is the amount of TikToks I posted. This is the amount of YouTube long forms that I posted. And this is the amount of YouTube shorts that I posted. So the numbers are going to be on screen, and I hope to then be able to compare them next reset and hope to be improving on each one.
So I created this little graphic that basically just shows what you've already seen in terms of the stories that I posted on Instagram, the TikToks that I posted, the YouTube long form and short form posts, just to kind of put it alongside the graphic that's now going to pop up, which is the May social media posts, to try and just gauge a little bit of whether things got better or worse. So most of it stayed about the same, apart from Instagram stories, which I was not as active on Instagram at all. I was more active on TikTok, and I was more active with the YouTube shorts. So I kind of believe that my thinking behind this was to prioritize YouTube shorts and long form, and then repurpose on TikTok. I'm not a huge fan of Instagram. I know that there's a lot that goes on Instagram, but I don't understand all their like algorithm changes and stuff like that. So that is the reason I have just gravitated towards YouTube and TikTok. So let me know in the comment section down below, what is your favorite social media platform to use? It doesn't have to be YouTube, TikTok or Instagram, but which one do you gravitate towards, so I know whereabouts to start posting?
So I believe that I did some of those goals. I know that I did do some self-care, and the self-care was a bit of an afternoon. I managed to re-dye my hair, so it now is back being nice and purple, and I managed to do that. So that is one good thing that I managed to do. I was able to prioritize some of my sleep a bit better, and I was able to like get a few better nights sleep and to kind of put my phone down and stuff like that. I have started to get myself into a slightly better nighttime routine, where I will be in bed by 11 o'clock and try to be asleep by midnight. I've only had a couple of nights where I have been really difficult and not been able to sleep very well, and I had a couple of all-nighters that wasn't the best thing in the world, but you know, it happens sometimes with me, and I feel that ideally in the end, in the end of my sort of self-improvement journey, I will get to the point where I can be amazing, and I won't have to like sort of struggle with my sleep. However, at the moment I am struggling a bit with my sleep, but it is getting better with the fact that my routine is I get into bed by 10:30. Then try and get to sleep by midnight. 10:30, 11 o'clock is kind of the time that I'll try to go to bed. Some days it's been earlier, and I have noticed that I had a week off from work recently, and I was getting in bed by like 9 o'clock some nights, and then I was waking up by 7. And yes, I was having a nap sort of around sort of 2, maybe 3 in the afternoon, and having a nap for maybe 1 to 2 hours because my body wasn't used to being awake like that long. Because generally, my day, if I'm working, would consist of waking up around sort of between 10 and 10:30, leaving the house at 11, and then, if I'm working a half day, I'd be back home by about 2, half 2, and if I'm doing a full day, then I'd be out until about 6, half past 6. So it's like I'm not like waking up at like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, so I'm not staying awake until all the way through. I'm waking up at 10, half 10, and then I'm going to bed by, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock at night. So I've not got that extra time at the beginning of the day. So I was having a little nap on most days to try and catch up from some of the sleep. I don't sleep brilliantly. Like, even when I do get to sleep, I don't actually sleep brilliantly. Like, my quality of sleep is not great. Like, my body does struggle to get into like a deep sleep. I know that I do need to replace my mattress at some point because I have got a bit of a dip in my mattress where I sleep, and I have tried rotating it and stuff, and I know that it just needs to be replaced, but it's not something that I can afford right now. It's not something that I can afford to replace and even try to save up for. Like, yeah, it's quite a difficult thing. So for June, I'm not going to set too many goals for June because I'm going away at the end of June, and as I said, you're going to get content, but you're probably not going to get content until maybe August because I'm actually doing a bit of like a sort of seeing friends and family and stuff. So I'm not sure when I'll be getting the content out for you guys. However, I will get content of like my holiday bits and pieces and the travel with me and all that sorts of bits and pieces and everything. However, like I'm not going to set too many goals for June because I know that a lot of it has got to be holiday based. So I'm going to put a little kind of notepad on screen here and do some little goal setting with you. So some of the goals I want to do, like that are holiday based, is to film a pack with me and to actually pack my suitcase. So I'm probably going to do a pack my carry on. Yeah, that is what the word is, isn't it? My carry on and my personal item with me, so like my cabin bags with me. And I have got a very exciting cabin bag this time. So I'm going to be taking a little mini suitcase as like my carry on bag, and then I've got a really exciting backpack to be my like personal item, which is going to have things like my passport and my travel documents and like basically all those sorts of bits and pieces in it. And then my carry-on's going to have like my laptop and those elements in it. My laptop and my carry-on bag is going to have to go in like the above your head locker, and then my like personal item could go under the seat in front of me. So I've also booked a window seat for my travels. I do prefer the window seat, not because it's not because of anything particular, but I like to watch like the plane take off and the plane land. It kind of gives my anxiety with the traveling a sense of like, I don't know, a sense of calmness. Like, yes, I'm anxious when I'm like flying and stuff, but watching everything going on helps me to be a bit less anxious, like a little teeny bit, like not the best less anxious, but a teeny bit. I am also traveling as an off-peak person, so it means that hopefully the cabin won't be as full as it would be during the peak. So hopefully I might even get like a spare seat next to me or something like that. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So I want to be filming my pack with me's. So that's going to probably be 2 separate videos. Probably the cabin and the personal item is going to be the first video, and then pack my like hold luggage, my like actual suitcase is probably going to be another video, depending on how long the first one is. But I've got to film both of those. In terms of like actually my stuff that needs to be done before I travel, I do need to book my travel insurance. I have looked at a quote, and it's going to cost me about £200 because of the autism and because of my complex PTSD diagnosis. So it is going to cost me a bit more than the average person. And for the length of the trip I'm going on, £200. It's about what I kind of expected. I was thinking maybe like 150 to 250 around that, and I think it's going to be about 220. So it's kind of at the higher end of what I was thinking. However, it's not, it is what it is. And, it's kind of a cost that I factor into when I go away. Hence why I try to go away for a bit longer, because then I can have like the flights either side and not have to kind of travel too much. Like, I'm just going away for a bit longer. So in terms of my travel, as I said, I need to book my travel insurance. I've already booked my flights and I've already got a travel visa for the place that I'm going to. So I do not need to book anything else in terms of like entry requirements for this country. I do, as I said, need to pack everything. I do need to make sure that I've got all the gifts for everyone that I am doing. So there's a gift that I am making for one of my friends that lives in Texas. So if you're watching this and you know who you are, then hi. Hello. I need to finish making your gift, and I've started it, but I need to finish it, and then I need to get it all sorted and wrapped up and in the suitcase. So that is one thing. I also want to be taking those like travel snack boxes. You know, the ones you see on TikTok where they're like all little compartments and stuff. I want to make one of those for my journey, and I'm going to try and do a short with that, so stay tuned for that. I also want to try and get my flat a little bit more sorted before I go, even if it's only one room, because at the moment my bedroom is like the room I've been like sort of living out of, and I'm struggling to like sort out anything else. I have got a friend who lives not too far away from me who has been saying to me that she's going to help me to sort bits and pieces out. Being neurodivergent, one of the things that I struggle with personally with my neurodivergency is the ability to split up tasks and the ability to focus on those tasks once they've been split up. So I struggle to actually formulate a way of doing tasks, and if a task seems uninteresting, or if a task is too long, or it seems like too big of a task, I can become very overwhelmed by the thought of actually doing the said task. So it's quite difficult for me to focus on tasks, but I've got a couple of friends that I text regularly, and one of which is on about coming round to my place to actually help me to like sort of focus on a task. If anyone else that's watching this is neurodivergent and they have any suggestions when it comes to like being neurodivergent and how you focus on tasks and how you manage to get like everyday household chore type stuff done, then please let me know any sort of tips and tricks in the comment section, because I'm struggling, let's put it that way. So that's kind of in terms of my sort of household and travel. I want to talk about this in very sort of plainish terms. So I've been struggling a lot with the sort of, I don't know whether it would be called FOMO or not. So FOMO is like the fear of missing out, for those of you who may not know what FOMO is, but I struggle with the fear of missing out of some life goals that I had personally set myself when I was a child, when I was like a child and when I was sort of early teens. I said to myself, by the time I am 30, I am going to be living somewhere that is my permanent situation, or that is the one step away from being my permanent situation. And I am going to be in a relationship, and I am going to be either planning to have a child fairly soon, or I am going to be a mum. So that was my goal when I was a kid. That was sort of how I had set myself up for my life. I'm turning 30 this year, and I haven't got any of those in place. So I feel a bit kind of like I'm missing out on life, and I feel like I'm kind of behind what I should be. And I've said this to my friends a few times, and they've said you're not behind, like everyone works on their own time frame and stuff like that. But I am very conscious of the fact that women aren't fertile forever, and I am very conscious about the fact that the older a woman gets, the harder it is for them to conceive. So I do want a family, and I do want more than just one child. So because of that, I kind of fear that I won't be a mum, and I think that my life without being a mum would be a very lonely one, and my life without being a mum would be not necessarily not worth living for, but it would be something that I would struggle with, because it's always what I've, since I've been a little girl, I've always known I wanted to be a mum. So yeah, it would be quite difficult, and it would be quite an adjustment, which being autistic is, adjustments aren't exactly things that I am welcoming into my life, shall we say. So I did have a date the other day, and the guy stood me up. So I turned up for said date, and I waited for half an hour, just over half an hour, and my texts weren't going through, and he seemingly blocked me on the day of our date. So I kind of find that very rude, and I did send him one text at the end, and that did go through, that one text. He didn't read it, but there was one text that did get delivered, and I basically just said to him that I felt that he was being very rude, and that, if he didn't want to meet me, then that was fine, but you just needed to say, like, I had always said from the very beginning of talking to this particular person that communication was key, and he agreed. And he'd also confirmed on two other occasions prior to this meet that we had arranged that he was willing to meet me and he was going to meet me and he was fully planning on it and all that sort of stuff. And then for him not to turn up was a very big disappointment in my life, and I kind of felt a very like, why me sort of thing, you know, that feeling of, well, what have I done to deserve this? What have I done to make him feel like he can't turn up? Or what have I done? Or why am I so, like, what's wrong with me? And logically, I know there's nothing wrong with me, and I know that it's not a me thing, it's a him thing. However, you know, the first automatic thought is, well, why me? What have I done? So yeah, if you're going through something similar like this, and you've had a guy stood you up, or you've had a guy stop talking to you, or like a girl or whatever, because I'm bisexual, I will automatically be very open with that. And if you've had something similar like this, you're not alone. And I just want to say that I'm here for you. So if you do want to inbox me, my DMs on Instagram and all that sort of stuff are open. So you can always Instagram me. I'm not the hugest online on Instagram, but I will eventually get back to you. So yeah, or you can leave a comment in the comment section down below to let me know you've messaged me on Instagram, and I will probably get back to you a bit quicker that way, because as I said, I'm not the best at checking Instagram. I will just say. All my friends know that. All my friends are just like, Instagram is not my preferred platform. YouTube is my preferred platform. But if you comment to say, Deeanna, I've sent you a message on Instagram, I will go and check Instagram and I will go and like reply to you. But I'm just not the best at checking Instagram on a daily basis. So I'm going to set a few goals for the month of June for content wise. So content wise, I want to post at least 4 videos in the month of June. I would love to say 6, but I think it's going to be more like going to be 4. I then also want to try and post at least 2 shorts a week. So I don't know what that's going to consist of. It might just be shorts from one of my long form videos, or it might be a dedicated short form content like video. So I do want to post quite a few different videos when it comes to like content on YouTube. I do also want to be able to repurpose some of my shorts over to TikTok. So if you don't follow me on TikTok, then here is my @handle for TikTok. I will leave it up here. And my @handle for TikTok, I believe is the same as Instagram. I think it is. I think TikTok and Instagram are the same, and YouTube is like minus the numbers. So yeah, I think that's what I want to do. I want to focus a lot on YouTube. So that's something that I can control. Something I can't control is, at the moment, as of filming this video, I have got 1,558 subscribers. I would love to reach 1.6k. I would love. So if you made it this far in the video and you are not subscribed, then please subscribe down below. It means the world to me. It really pushes my channel out and helps. And while you're down there, please don't forget to hit the like button and leave me a comment. Like, put an emoji in the comments. It doesn't necessarily need to be anything, you know, inventive or amazing, but an emoji in the comments. Tell me how your day is going, what your favourite colour is. Like, tell me something like random about you, and I will reply or heart every single comment, because that's what I like to do. I like to make sure that I'm interacting with anyone who leaves an interaction or a comment on my video. Also, if you have any video ideas that you would like me to film, I'm going to the USA, if I hadn't said that previously in this video. So if there's any video ideas specifically for the USA, or shops you want me to go in, or like ideas you want me to do, then please do leave like a video suggestion comment, because I will try and get as many different types of videos filmed as possible. But yeah, I am open to suggestions. So that's kind of what my month of June is going to be looking like. And it's going to be definitely a lot of preparing for going on holiday. Going to see friends and family, but it's a holiday. I'm going to call it a holiday because it's definitely a holiday when it's out of the UK. And I'm going to be doing that. I am going to also be focusing on work. I have 4 weeks left of work before I go. So I feel a lot more kind of like zen knowing that I've only got 4 weeks left, especially with all the things that are going on. I feel definitely a lot more calmer knowing that there's only 4 weeks until the summer holidays, for me anyway, because I'm like going away I think a week before my particular work breaks up for the half term for the summer holiday thingy. So yeah, and I will keep you updated as in terms of like how my flat's looking. You'll see content for me when it comes to like the packing videos and the sorting out my flat videos, because that is something that I need to do. Need. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and please don't forget that I believe in you even if nobody else does. And I shall see you in my next one. Bye.
Just like you're young again, no, don't you cry. Just get back up again.